If you're new here and love all things Raiders, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's dive into today's topic. I want to talk about one player who really stood out during the preseason, undrafted rookie linebacker Amari Gaynor. He's been making waves and might just earn himself a spot on the final 53-man roster. In last Friday's preseason finale against the 49 ERs, Amari racked up 13 total tackles, with 7 of them being stops. Even Antonio Pierce mentioned how Amari was calling out pre-snap plays during the game, which is pretty impressive. Today I'm going to break down some of his plays on tape and discuss whether I think he deserves a spot on the roster. Let's start with this first play. Here, Amari does a fantastic job, quickly reading the run to the left. He beats the left guard coming up to the second level, gets his hands on him, and manages to bounce off, finding his way into the running lane to bring down the running back. Against the run, once again, he shows great instincts by getting into the backfield, though he just misses the tackle. While he's not the fastest guy on the field, you can really see how well he processes the play and puts himself in the right position. He was so close to making a huge play, but just couldn't wrap up the tackle in the backfield. Next, we've got him in zone coverage. Overall, this is solid coverage. He reacts well to Brock Purdy as he scrambles, reading the play perfectly, in my opinion. However, his biggest issue here is missing the open field tackle. That's something he'll need to work on. Still, it's another example of him processing the play well and staying with it as a linebacker. Finally, against the run again, Amari does an excellent job diagnosing the toss play, easily beating the tight end and getting into the backfield for a big solo tackle, resulting in a loss of yards. This was just a great play all around. Once again, Amari Gaynor shows his strength against the run. He evades the center, gets into the backfield, and tracks down the running back, stuffing the run with a great play. Although he doesn't get the tackle in this next clip, he's still excellent against the run. He gets past the lineman and positions himself perfectly to make the tackle, though the defensive end beats him to it. This is another solid rep that highlights his instincts and natural feel for the game as a linebacker. In another play, Amari sheds the center's block, tracks down the runner, and brings him down again. Now, we see him playing off the edge, where he does a good job pursuing the ball, keeping his eyes on it, and eventually fighting his way into the backfield to help bring down the quarterback. His intensity on this rep is also impressive. Against the Dallas Cowboys in Week 2 of the preseason, he reacts quickly to a short pass to the wide receiver, getting in on the tackle. Amari just has a natural nose for the football, always around the action, making stops and securing tackles. Here he fights off initial blocks, keeps his eyes on the ball carrier, and brings down the running back once more. On this next rep, we see Amari in zone coverage. He shows great awareness, recognizing the pressure from the defensive line, reading the play perfectly, and coming downhill to break up a throw to the running back underneath. Excellent stuff. In Week 1 against the Vikings, he's in zone coverage again. After the throw, he immediately comes down to make the tackle on the wide receiver. His coverage against the running back is solid as well, leading to an incomplete pass. On another play, he drops back into zone coverage, does a great job getting deep into his zone, tips the pass, and forces an incompletion. His awareness and play on this rep are outstanding. So overall, Raider Nation, during the preseason, linebacker Amari Gaynor has been turning heads with his performances for the Silver and Black. I think Amari Gaynor is a great player to keep on the roster. While he might be lower on the depth chart, he has the skills and instincts at the linebacker position to make a real contribution to this team. He's likely going to be a depth player for us, but I really like the idea of having him develop under someone like Antonio Pierce, who was a linebacker himself. It also says a lot that Amari was leading the linebacker group, wearing the green dot, and calling plays during the game against the 49 ERs. He absolutely shined in that performance with 13 total tackles. Some players just have a natural nose for the football, and Amari is one of those guys. He's always around the action, making tackles. I personally see the Raiders carrying 5 linebackers. I think Robert Spillane, Divine Deablo, Luke Masterson, and Tommy Eichenberg, who's currently dealing with an injury and might move to IR, will make the roster, and Amari Gaynor should be part of that group. If the Raiders don't keep him, I'm sure another NFL team will pick him up. He's definitely earned his spot with how well he's played in the preseason, and he seems like a promising young linebacker for this team. When I watch his film, Amari is excellent against the run. The only downside I notice is that he looks a bit slow. He has that old-school linebacker vibe, but he has the traits you want to see at the position, especially his instincts. I think he's a perfect candidate to sit on the roster, develop a bit, and step up if we lose players to injury during the season. He might even get more first team snaps than we expect as the season goes on. I love the intensity he brings to the position, and overall, I really like this player. When it comes to players who stood out in the preseason, he's definitely one of them. Another player worth mentioning is Tyreek McAllister, who I think has essentially locked himself in on the 53-man roster as a special teams returner. But Raider Nation, I want to hear your thoughts on linebacker Amari Gaynor. Do you like what you see in him? Do you think he should make the final 53-man roster? Let me know in the comments below. That's all for today's video. Raider Nation. If you're new to the channel and love Raiders-related content like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.